Hey guys, this is RolloutReviews with RolloutReviews doing another Let's Build. This time it is Pohatu, Uniter of Stone. So we'll set this guy off to the side and take a look at the new one here. I don't like it quite as much. Just like Golly, there just seems to be something missing. Notably, the Stormerangs. I thought those were such cool weapons. You know, boomerangs that create tornadoes and become sand shoes like his foot extensions from G1. And now he just has this spear thing with a ball and chain on the end. I guess it's nice to see Pohatu coming with this boulder piece again, like he did in 2001, but I don't know, he looks kind of weird. I don't like the mask as much. He's got weird colors here with like 3 different browns. I don't know. He also has a choking hazard warning here, just like Akaida. This is only the second set so far that's had that. I do kind of like the shadow trap here off in the corner just being decimated by this boulder here. You can see like bits of it flying off. That's kind of cool. Of course, the comic and the combination feature on the back. There is his mask, and that's about it. The Nuva symbol and the creature symbol like we're used to seeing. But without further ado, let's crack into it. So, interesting story about this set. If you look in the most recent, at the time of this recording, Lego catalog, the shop at home catalog, Pohatu is not present. Literally every other set but Qatar and Pohatu are there, but they're mysteriously missing. And so I went to the actual Lego store to get these sets when they came out on the 1st. And when I showed up there, they were unboxing all the sets that they'd received early in the morning. And I said, hey, I'd like the new BIONICLE sets. They're like, how many? And I said, all 12. And they're like, okay. They didn't have all of them on the floor. They actually had to go in the back to get Kopaka. But the Lego store didn't receive Qatar or Pohatu at all. So, just like the catalog, they weren't there. I was like, what? Did they just forget? I mean, I know in G1, like, the brown sets, the stone sets, generally didn't sell as well, so they, that's why they made Toa of Stone different colors in the later years, like, orange and things like that, but it's weird that the Lego store and the Lego catalog just didn't include these sets in their shipments or in the pages at all. Fortunately, on my way back from the Lego store, I stopped at a Toys R Us and they had Pohatu and Liwa, and that's it. So I got pretty lucky there, but yeah, that's just kind of an interesting thing. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these pieces. Like I said, there's 3 different brown colors in this set. You have like this tan brown here. You have this, dark classic brown, and then you have the burnt orange. I guess there's some burnt orange and some dark brown on this piece, so it kind of works to unify the 3 together, but that's just weird to me. There's also kind of like a desert camo look to the chest here, and of course the Nuva symbol there, as well as, I don't know, this kind of looks like fangs to me. It almost looks like a scorpion head there, which may or may not be intentional. Here is the new mask. And it actually does look pretty good in person. Here it is next to the last mask. I don't know. I've just kind of grown accustomed to this one. I think it looks a bit cooler. I think the jawline here is just a bit too thin. Makes it look, I don't know, kind of oddly feminine in a way. Although looking at it in person, the angles aren't nearly as bad as I thought they looked on the product image, and that's something that happens quite a lot. It's why I don't like making judgments about sets until I have them in hand, because generally they end up looking a whole lot better in person. And a whole lot better once I have time to pose them myself, because also, generally, they're not posed very well in product images. Here it is compared to the G1 mask here, and I think actually the jawline thing that I was talking about with the mouth section, the mouth plate section, this mask actually might be a little more true to the original Kakama here. So it's got that going for it as well. It also sort of looks maybe like a dwarven helmet or something, but maybe that's just the runes on the forehead here talking to me. But there is the Nuva symbol there as well. Here is the blended mask, the blended Unity golden mask, which does once again look a little like the one that came with Skull Scorpio, and I just don't like this combination very much. This trans neon green and the gold, it just kind of looks gross to me, but oh well. Fortunately, that'll be covered up by Qatar once we get to him. Okay, aside from that, nothing too interesting here. Oh, in the product images, it definitely looks like this is a different color than this. Like, this totally looks yellow, and this looks much more green. I don't know, it actually is a little bit more green there, but they're very similar. They look a whole lot more similar in person than they do on the product image there. This, of course, is solid green and not translucent, so a little bit different as far as that goes. This Pohatu is just kind of an explosion of different colors, and I definitely think he looks a whole lot better combined with Qatar, but I suppose we will see. Anyway, let's finally get to building this guy. Starts off just like all the others, plugging that piece into the main body, getting ourselves one of these, and plugging that gear on there. You know, building the creatures in between the Toa does make this whole process, where they're all very similar at the very start, a little less monotonous, I think, because I have a break to build something almost completely different in the middle. So that's kind of nice. So in a way, if you are building all the sets in one sitting yourself, or a couple sittings at least, maybe that's a pro tip. Pro tip. Build the creatures and the Toa next to each other and overlapping, so that it doesn't get too repetitive. I'm sorry. Kind of just spacing out my words and rambling a little while I try and find this piece. But there we go, there it is. There's only one of these in the set, it looks like, so that's why I had trouble finding that. Now, we get this, and a couple of these. And that goes on there, like that. Yeah, I don't know. This alone, I think, you know, when he's not united, like I said, I think he looks a whole lot better united, personally. But alone, you know, when the color combinations kind of look all over the place, this is probably my least favorite of the 2016 Toa visually, which is kind of a shame. And again, that's just looking at pictures, and we'll see once he's all together. But it is kind of a shame because in the new series, at least, Pohatu is absolutely my favorite Toa character-wise. He's the most different from G1. They really did change his characterization a lot across generations. But I just really, really like him. He's kind of a stone cold badass, and pun entirely intended there. Whereas he was kind of more the fun-loving guy, you know, the loud and friendly guy in the original series. But not quite so here. But I really do like his characterization a lot. He also takes some cues from Johnny Thunder, the old Lego, basically Indiana Jones ripoff from back in the day. where he's scared of scorpions because, you know, Indiana Jones was scared of snakes, and so Lego's version of Indiana Jones, you know, an explorer, archaeologist, temple trekker kind of guy, he was scared of scorpions. That was his thing. And so I feel like Pohatu having that fear is a little bit of a reference to that, which is kind of cool. And it's also kind of cool that his creature is a scorpion. It's unfortunate that Pohatu has to run into his fears so often among the skull scorpio scorpions, the skull spider scorpions, and now the creature he's supposed to unite with is a scorpion. So that's funny. And there is that parallel, like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to find this piece. So give me a second here. There it is. There's kind of that parallel where he's like this, you know, tough guy that kind of keeps to his own a lot, but really he seems to have the most fears out of any of the Toa. He's afraid of the dark. He's afraid of scorpions. So that's kind of funny and a little bit endearing. What's also kind of cool about the stone guys in this new series is it seems like they are kind of they kind of have a connection to the animals of Akodo a little more. This could be coincidence, or maybe, you know, the writers of the story didn't notice this, but in the Gathering of the Toa, the first 2015 graphic novel, Pohatu has a story where he's traveling to find his golden mask, and he runs into a couple of like desert puppies who have lost their mother. I don't think they have any names or anything. I don't think they're you know, named Rahi or anything like that. They're just kind of desert puppies of some kind. Anyway, he runs into them and he kind of befriends them as he helps find their mother. And that's adorable and awesome. I really would like somebody, or I guess I could try doing it myself as well, but I'd really like it if I could have mocks of those little puppies from that comic there, because that was a really cool section in that graphic novel. Probably my favorite section, but I am a little biased because I really like 2015 and, you know, 2016, let's just say G2 Pohatu a lot. So, you know, he's this tough guy, but he's got this soft side as he befriends these stranger puppies on his journey. Kind of a similar thing going on with his legs here to the 2015 Pohatu, kind of the lower half of his leg being all silver, although there is this section here, but that's kind of actually very similar to how his legs were in the past here. So I like that, at least. And then in Revenge of the Skull Spiders, Nilku, who is, now that I think about it, also my favorite protector. So the stone guys in G2 are just killing it for me. I just love their characters. I love their designs for the most part. We'll see about this one. Like I said, it does seem like maybe a little bit of a step down from his last form, but again, I don't know. I just really like the stone guys, and Nilku in Revenge of the Skull Spiders. Let me actually bring the camera up. I keep starting to say something, and then I have to interrupt myself by getting work done. Bah humbug. Anyway, there's this, they're in this cave. All of the protectors are in this cave, because Revenge of the Skull Spiders follows the story of the protectors, which is awesome. You know, what the protectors were doing as the Toa were fighting the skull villains in the ancient city. And they're in this cave, and they run into this giant biomechanical snake that dwells in the caves. And Nilku actually befriends it, and they sort of use it to travel through the tunnels. And that's kind of cool too. So it just seems like the stone guys have this connection to the wildlife, more so than some of the others, which is odd because it seems like Liwa or Gali was kind of the one with those aspects in the original series. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something interesting, something worth noting, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, bottom line, I really like the stone guys in this new series, as far as their characters go, at least. Anyway, here we go. This is, I mean, he's mostly been this tan color here. And if they just kind of changed his color scheme entirely to be just this tan color, I'd be able to accept that. But then you also bring the burnt orange. You also have this. Again, the colors are kind of all over the place, but once he combines with Qatar, Qatar has more of those colors. So you have all three of the colors in more than one place at that point, and so it balances things out a little bit. But alone, Pohatu is a little all over the place. That said, maybe that's the point. When I combined, was it Liwa and Uxar? I said, like, maybe the point of having the Toa look a little bit incomplete on their own is because they're meant to combine with the creatures. You know, that's the reason for these forms. Maybe they are not as powerful as their last forms in their standard base forms, you know, like maybe when they evolve and get upgraded into the Uniter forms, their power level is lowered from their master forms. And that seems definitely like a downgrade, but then on the other hand, it also gives them the ability to combine with the creatures, which makes them much, much more powerful than they were alone, even in their master forms. That's just kind of how I see it. Maybe that's the case, maybe it isn't. I think that would be an interesting idea to explore, at least. But yeah, here is Pohatu's arms. They, once again, like Gali and Liwa's, are a little bit short. And also his upper arms are completely custom, just like on Liwa, and I think Kopaka's upper arms are custom as well. So that's kind of cool, kind of interesting. More of the Vorox armor pieces here. I kind of like that he has this bit of articulation where his arms can go in and out. That's kind of nice and allowed by the way his arms attach. And there's also much more of the trans-neon green that shows through in this form, and that seems to be the case on pretty much all of the Toa. Their translucent colors are perhaps maybe a little bit more prominent in their Uniter forms as they, I don't know, embrace their elemental abilities more and, you know, become one with their element as they combine with the creatures. More of this third brown color here. Although, you know, now that I'm looking at it like this, maybe what made this look more green than these pieces here, which I'm actually starting to see on, you know, both on camera and in person, is because they're directly in front of these brown pieces, and so or tan pieces rather. So these tan pieces showing through makes it look like a slightly different color than these, even though it's the same color plastic, which again is kind of unfortunate because that means he not only has 3 different brown colors, but he also has like 2 slightly different translucent colors. I don't know. Again, we'll see once he's built, and then we'll make any final judgments once he's combined with Qatar, because that's kind of what he's supposed to be. That is his true form here, I believe. Anyway, this kind of goes on here like that. And then 5 of these chain link pieces come together. Which, you know, this being the toe of stone, I believe Inika Huki was one of the first sets to use these pieces. So it's kind of cool seeing them on another toe of stone. And then this slides through here like that. And then you use that there to kind of cap off the stud there. And then this plugs on just like that. You know, I kind of don't like the stud on the end there. I think that doesn't look too great, honestly. I wish they would have just made this a silver or a brown piece, or just kind of avoided it in the first place. Found a different way of doing this, because I don't know, it's always kind of been a peeve of mine. A lot of Bionicle Machas do it, where they just kind of cover up all of the holes with system stud pieces like this, and personally, I just don't like the look at all. So, yeah, it's kind of disappointing for me personally to see that in an actual set, but oh well, that's just how it is. Also, with this, that also means there's 2 different tan colors as well. Maybe that's kind of stretching it a little bit. Maybe that's complaining a little too much, because it's just a pen, you know, it's not anything noticeable at all. But anyway, then you do this like that. And then, oh, bump the camera there a little bit. Anyway, and then you're supposed to put these together, you know, in like into this like staff weapon with a flail on one end. But you know what? I actually kind of like this a little bit better. Having him wield these separately as like a sword and a mace, although his hand's kind of backwards there. But anyway, you get the idea. Like, he wields this as like a mace and a sword separately rather than one combined staff weapon. I think that looks a bit better, but you know what? It's fine. Actually doesn't look too bad like this. And if nothing else, it's a very interesting weapon, you know, the spear with the mace piece. So finally, here you go. There is his mask, and that is Pohatu. So, yeah, his color scheme is a little bit all over the place. His proportions are kind of weird as well, honestly. His arms look kind of weird too. From the back, he's probably the most incomplete looking, although the 2015 Pohatu is probably the most incomplete looking from the back as well. Yeah, I don't know. He's okay. I definitely think his mask looks a whole lot better in person than I expected it to. So that's an upside. But otherwise, yeah, he's probably one of my least favorite of the Uniters. Of course, he has the gimmick on the waist here, and that swings around his mace weapon, which actually does work pretty well here. Just, you know, showing that off like that. But otherwise, that is him. So here he is with the golden mask. Doesn't look quite as good, but again, like I said, I just don't like the way these two colors blend together, so I didn't expect to like that anyway. That is Pohatu. Let me get the box here and wrap things up. So, that is about it, guys, and this is IX Roll It IX, signing off.